All right, guys. So now we are going to talk about Meghan Markle's feet because she apparently wants us to talk about her feet. And I have a bit of strong feelings about this just because I actually have a little bit of thoughts and feelings about this because I have like my own feet issues, but they're very different. And then I will explain to you why sometimes I talk about my feet on here and then why Megan is being just so incredibly weird about this. Because the way Meghan Markle prefaces this is as if her not wearing shoes somehow conveys a sense of depth to her character. And I'm like, no, no, absolutely not. Your shoes, your lack of shoes, whatever, around your home does not convey any aspect of your character. It's about basically comfort. Do you like being barefoot? Do you like socks? Do you like slippers? Like, do you, like me, have varying degrees of levels of slippers that you put on depending on how cold or hot it is? Like, that's real. Meghan Markle, like, her whole reasoning here, it just, I feel like she thinks she's making herself like more palatable or more, let's say, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say agreeable, but that's not it. More like she's just like us guys. She goes around barefoot. Oh my gosh, it's the weirdest thing ever. So let's go ahead and look at it. We have it in the Daily Mail here. I don't know if we can actually hear the video. So we'll try this here real quick. Daily Mail's a little funky about its videos, I do have to say. So
I
let's
love people being able to serve themselves and having things on the stove that everyone can help themselves to. So, yes, for example, you could say, "Hi, can I get you a cup of tea?"
oh my gosh. People can serve themselves, guys, because Megan doesn't want to serve you. I realize we're getting to the feed thing, but we'll go ahead and because if I can get like the full context of her thoughts here, I want to, but let's see if they sell this. I imagine it'll say here.
That's a lot of work if you have 6 to 8 people coming through. You could equally say, "Oh, on the stove there's a pot of spiced cider brewing and there's a whole tray of mugs there. Help yourself."
Oh my gosh, guys. So the hostess with the mostess. Again, I haven't watched this ahead of time because I've kind of been like taking a chill little bit here this week. But the hostess with the mostest, ladies and gentlemen, she has something brewing on her stove and she just tells you, oh, just go and get it. Get it yourself. Some hostess, because like, oh my gosh, it's like, especially when you're talking about like a stove and things that are hot and stuff like that. I mean, if something falls on a guest or somebody gets splashed with that really hot cider, they could sue her. Oh my gosh, does she really think that's being a good hostess? Really? Now, there is a place for that, of course, but even my mom, like when we come over, like she'll like put if we want glasses. Now, I tend to not always want a glass because I'll eat drink straight from the bottle or the can, or I have my water bottle or whatever. She would go and she'd put ice in our cups and like help us do it. Like we can all do it ourselves, but it's just, man, she sounds like a terrible host. And she has a show about hosting. But it's like just even the safety thing of I don't know your stove. I don't know how hot the ladle is. Like there's so many factors here where it's like I would want to do it just for pure safety reasons, just to make people feel comfortable. But no, she's got something hot on the stove and you can serve it yourself, guys. She is not your servant.
Take your shoes off, get cozy. Board games are out.
Good tip.
Yeah.
That's
all of those things where it just creates ease.
So she wants everybody to take their shoes off. I mean, nothing necessarily super duper wrong with that, but like for me personally, I was kind of bad. I went to a small group recently and I kept my shoes on because I don't really like being barefoot. So again, we'll get into my thoughts on this, but I'm just hoping we have more of a barefoot comment. But this is fascinating. This woman is a terrible host.
And what is the one thing you want to feel in someone's home is ease. If you as a hostess are dolled up and dressed up for a really fancy dinner that you're having at your house.
Well, you might be having a really fancy dinner at your house. I would not mind, actually. It depends on the event. Does she think that everybody's hosting like a 4-course meal at their house? So we're getting to the barefoot comment here because I could see it in the subtitles. But yeah, Meghan, like, I don't know who she thinks she's hosting, but like royals hosting dinner is very different than, let's say, for like official reasons, is very different than them doing it themselves. Like, I imagine Catherine, if she has her family over, it's very, very casual, like her family. But in the royal family, it is a bit more, let's say, structured. And so you will have a bit more of a structured thing, but that's sort of how it works with certain families. And that's how it worked with the queen. And that's how she wanted it. And sometimes you have to go with sort of what the host wants.
Well, if you still answer your door barefoot or with your apron on, everyone goes, oh, she's still in this with me.
She's still in this with me if she's barefoot in her apron, guys. She's in this with you. She's like, I don't get it. I don't understand why she thinks that makes her approachable to people. Because if I'm going to a dinner party, let's say, and I walk in and it's supposed to be, let's say, a nice dinner party, and the hostess is there and I'm dressed up because I wasn't maybe told exactly what I should wear. And to me, guys, I like kind of dressing up anyways. Like, I'm kind of known in my small group for, like, there was this is a true story. We were playing this game and there was like 20 of us, 15, 20 of us. And it's a group game where you have to go with the herd. So they give you kind of a random question. What's your favorite room in the house? And you have to go with sort of and guess what everybody would say rather than just what you would say. So you kind of have to anticipate the group think there. And the question was literally, and I asked because I'm like, this cannot be the question. He's like, yeah, it is. Who is the best dressed person here? And everybody said me, except for one person. Everybody said me. And I'm like, I'm getting all red because I just dressed up in like, I like button down dresses and I just happened to wear that. And it's like a little fancy, but not like super fancy or anything. But if I came to a house and I was thinking it's a nice dinner party and the hostess is walking up in a ripped jeans, bare feet, apron on, and going, oh, just make yourself at home, whatever. And it's like, I've dressed up and I'm like, okay, are you not putting like any effort into this whatsoever? And it also feels a bit like cosplay. She thinks of what a hostess looks like. And so she's like, oh, I'm just going to be chill.
Oh, she's still barefoot. Well, if you still answer your door barefoot or with your apron on, everyone goes, oh, she's still in this with me. It takes a lot. It just demystifies this pressure and the feeling. But equally, I would say for me,
that makes no sense, guys. It makes zero sense for her to be like saying it demystifies. It makes people feel comfortable. I'm like, how? I don't care what you have on your feet in your house because my initial thought is, oh, that's what their comfort level is. So for me, I like to have slippers on. So I will literally even travel sometimes with slippers if I have them to be able to travel with. And there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, I broke my foot. So actually being barefoot is a little uncomfortable for me. Like it happened almost 20 years ago now, but I have screws in there. So I have arthritis. I actually have a bone spur now. So I'm growing more bones in my foot. So that's fun. So for me, it's actually rather uncomfortable to not have shoes on. And I honestly, as well, don't like my feet getting dirty. I don't like that feeling at all. So for me, like I am very much like I need to have socks on at the very least, but I also worry about slipping and falling because I've fallen and broken things. So I prefer to have either definitely like slippers on of some sort. It also helps me if I have to take my dog outside or anything. So, and I have varying levels of slippers, ladies and gentlemen. I have Birkenstocks with fur inside for like the summer months. So my feet can like breathe and stuff. And then I have my like normal sort of fall, spring, winter regular slippers. And then we have boots. So if it's really, really cold, I put my Ugg boots on and we hang out in the house. So that's probably a little too much information. Y'all probably don't care. But I think to me, it's just like that's just what I'm comfortable in. If you're comfortable barefoot, more power to you. I don't care. And I don't personally have any thought about what it means about your character, you know? Because to me, if you're wearing slippers, great. Maybe you're like me and your feet are a little bit uncomfortable. You prefer slippers. Awesome. Maybe you're in socks. Cool. Maybe you're barefoot. Awesome. Like, that's not me, but like, hey, more power to you. It doesn't mean anything about your character, though. It means nothing about your character. If she did, though, walk over, let's say at a normal day, because I would imagine normally around Meghan's house, she wears whatever she wants and who cares? If she was like, if it was a normal, let's say Saturday afternoon and she's walking out in stilettos and this ridiculous getup, I would think that's a little weird. But if you're in your house and you just have your apron and you're barefoot, I don't know what I'm supposed to get of your character from there, but Meghan very much thinks we're supposed to read into that something really grand and relatable and everything. Oh my gosh, guys, she's barefoot. It's just so obvious too. It's a little bit of an underhanded as well dig at the royal family because William and Catherine were a little kind of like, I think, put off by Meghan's appearance when they first met her. Because she apparently, according to Meghan, she was barefoot and in ripped jeans, like hanging out in the garden or something. But it's like, again, you have to think, what was the context? Did Catherine and William go over there for an afternoon dinner and expected the host to be somewhat put together because that's what they do? And she didn't do that. And maybe as like a cultural difference, you can have a bit of a laugh. You can be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so funny. We're just so different. Let's go back and we can reach like I'll adjust and everything and they can adjust and like we can all meet sort of in the middle." But no, like you get the sense that Meghan Markle wants everybody walking around her house in their bare feet. I'm like, "Ugh." Yeah, you might have, servants who I'm sure, and I use the term servants, they're just like house cleaners or whatever, who make sure everything's perfectly spotless for you, but it skeeves me out a little bit. I gotta say, I'm also one of those people where I hate when sand is on my toes and like I can't get it out. Mm. That's why I almost don't like the beach, guys. Is the sand like this? Like the beaches that like I like the beach. I actually got swim shoes when I was in Nice, in part because again the feet issues. They have actually pebble beaches, so it's actually sort of hard to walk into the water. And so because of that kind of weird difference thing, I got the shoes just because I have such issues with my feet. But it's like again, I think about my feet because I live in a minor level of pain. I feel my foot at least once a day in terms of it's painful to do something and it moves weird or whatever, or the bones are settling. I don't know. But again, I have screws in my feet. So it's like I have a reason to actually think about my feet quite a bit. I don't feel like Megan needs that. I'm like, she doesn't need to think about her feet that much. As far as we're aware, her feet are fine. It's just super duper weird. Like I just don't understand her weirdness. Like, and that she thinks that somehow this makes her seem normal to people. It makes her seem abnormal. Like she doesn't even know what normal is so much as that she says something that's totally bizarre and things we are all going to go, oh yeah, like great. And I was like, no, whether or not what feet you wear, what shoes you wear usually has very little bearing on your character. Unless you're walking around in like stiletto or not really stiletto, but I would say like ridiculous stripper heels. I may judge you a little bit for like ridiculous stripper level heels. But if you like heels, all I can think of is darn, I wish I could walk in them. Ah, it's just she's weird, man. I talk to my mom about this every once in a while because my mom sometimes she's like thinks she's like, oh, you're being maybe not as nice as you should be, but she's like the more she watches Megan, she's like, she's weird. I'm like, yes, she's very weird. She's very weird, guys. So let's keep watching a little bit of this here to see if we can glean any other pearls of wisdom. Because remember, guys, the pearl of wisdom here is that if you walk out in bare feet, you will put your guests at ease and it reflects and demystifies you to them. And I'm like, but who is coming to your house that you need to demystify? That's the other interesting question. Because it's like, well, don't you have like staff and like, or aren't your friends coming? You shouldn't need to demystify yourself in front of your friends. It's just really strange what Megan thinks about things.
For us in our house, those top tips of allowing people to be part of the community, of taking care of themselves and do your prep. Oh my gosh, you could.
What? take care of yourselves? You want your guests to take care of themselves? Isn't the point of you as a hostess taking care of them? I'm really confused.
Get so much of that stuff done the day before. Get a tray with mugs on it and sit it right on the counter. You have that brewing, not like the hot toddy or a spiced cider on the stove.
Again, bringing out her like non-existent British there with the hot toddy. I feel like that's very British.
Not only does it take the pressure out for you of having to serve everyone, it also makes your house
Okay, her alleged friend there looks really
serve everyone. It also
watch
makes
her
your
alleged
house
friend.
smell incredible.
Like her messing with her hair looks like a nervous
For you
tick.
having to serve everyone, it also makes your house smell incredible. People walk in. I told you I love fragrance.
I thought this was supposed to be about her friend, but it's all about Meghan, guys.
People walk in, they go, and what are they drawn to? Your kitchen. They come right in, and suddenly everyone is a little bit softened in the experience of entertaining.
Yeah, Meghan Markle is terrible at entertaining. I can just tell that right now. Meghan Markle is a terrible hostess. Because, yeah, if you make apple cider over your vinegar or hot cider or whatever, yeah, it'll smell good. And yeah, that'll go to your kitchen. But where is what is I just don't understand sort of what is the point of all this. And I feel like we're getting very little interaction from the audience, which I find really funny. Because it's like they're kind of like, what is she saying? Is she talking about? But this whole idea that, oh, your guests can serve themselves. I feel like as a host, it's very much like I've been to dinner parties and everything. And yeah, sometimes it's serve and then sometimes it's self-serve. But I really think like if you're gonna have, let's say, a 5-course dinner, I understand you not personally serving it. That makes 100% sense. But like just apple cider, just do the nice thing for somebody and pour it out for them. Pour it for them. That's just an act of service. But you just get the sense that she doesn't want to serve people because that's beneath her. Like that's 100%. I think Meghan Markle, like she doesn't think she's saying this, but she's basically saying that, yeah, serving people is beneath me. Even though, again, she's talking about hostessing, and hostessing also usually requires the hostess to serve the guests, which is what Meghan Markle doesn't want to do. But she really thinks, guys, if you show up barefoot, you're going to put your guests at ease. You're going to put your guests at ease. And it's kind of a weird thought, too, because some people have like a real foot fetish, or like not foot fetish, but are really repulsed by feet. Like some people, it's like an ooh thing for them. And I don't care either way. I've never really gotten it. But it's like if you have a guest who's really repulsed by feet and you like don't know that, you're actually probably offending them. They're probably actually really grossed out by you walking around in your bare feet. And so it's like be comfortable or whatever. But like if I had, let's say, my perfect world and I had, let's say, $12 million or whatever, because I love slippers, I would honestly have slippers I could lend to guests. I'd have like a stash of like guest slippers that they can put on so that they feel like to me, because that's comfortable. So it's like, well, if you want to wear slippers, it's totally up to you. But there you go. You can wear slippers. Because like it's just to me, it's just really, really gross and weird. And like, why? Why? And again, it reveals a problem with Meghan with this whole as ever hostessing endeavor, which is that you listen to that. And number one, it sounds like she has a business about hostessing, but she doesn't really like to actually host and serve people. That's sort of a turnoff. And it makes me think again that she's not really devoted to her own stinking premise, which is to me, it's like if I'm going to buy into a brand, it's like I want to buy into the whole premise of the brand, whatever it is. And I don't think that I buy into the premise, just in part because I just don't think that Meghan Markle herself really likes the premise. And so it's like, how can I be fully engaged in it or buying things from it? Like if I'm the average consumer, if it's like I don't really even feel like the person behind it cares that much. Because at the end of the day, if the person behind it doesn't care that much, they're not going to put that much effort and emphasis and intention into their products and into their line because they don't really actually care. So it's just very, very strange. But yeah, it's a weird thing. We do have Chantal here. Thank you so much, Chantal, saying, I do ask my friends to take off their shoes for hygiene purposes. 100%. Totally understand. But they can bring socks or indoor slippers to walk on. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. I would definitely be bringing that. Again, I have like slippers I would travel with. If I can, if I have enough space, I will try to get my slippers in there because it's just a comfort thing for me. But to each their own. I find it so interesting. Some people are like, just want to walk around barefoot. They love that. I'm like, okay, not my thing, but like more power to you. And so again, the issue here is no problem whatsoever with Meghan Markle being barefoot in her own home. 100% don't care about that. It's her personal preference, whatever. But it's the idea that by being barefoot, that she's somehow showing off a, let's say, relaxed hostess vibe is ridiculous. It's completely and utterly like detached from normal people. Because again, we all know that everybody has a different level of comfort in their own home. So it's like if you have that level of comfort, I don't think anybody cares that much except for if they have like a real issue with feet. And then the second idea is that somehow by being barefoot, Meghan thinks it demystifies her to people. And it's like, well, if you're only inviting your friends to your house, who do you need to demystify in the first place? And your shoes don't really tell people that, or your lack of shoes, or your being barefoot, slippers, what have you. Whatever you put on your feet does not convey your character. It's just a personal preference. And for her to think that it has anything to do with that is just really bizarre to me. This shows again how disconnected she is from reality and normal people. This woman does not have a relationship with normal people because normal people would tell her. If I was Meghan Markle's friend, I would tell her, "That's dumb. Don't say that. That doesn't make any sense." And you can almost feel her friend there going, because she's like, "Ugh." It just doesn't make a ton of sense. But Meghan, again, she's trying so hard to be relatable. She's trying so hard to get people to connect with her. Then unfortunately, she pulls out these really random things that she thinks are helpful when they really just sound ridiculous. They sound absolutely ridiculous. And if I was going to a fancy dinner party, allegedly at a duchess's house, I would actually try to put on like a best look or something, try to be really presentable. And then if she comes out there trying to demystify herself in, being barefoot with the apron on, she's got stains all over the apron and stuff like that. I go, I thought we were supposed to have like a party. And then she goes, oh, here's a ladle. May pour your own cider. I'd be like, well, where's the hostess here? Meghan Markle, I just got to say, from what I've seen, is not the hostess, guys, with the mostest. She's the hostess with the leastest, if that is a thing. So I just had to start off with that story, guys. We do have a couple of super chats and stuff to catch up on, but I just had to say that, like, I just had to talk about that because I just found that to be so incredibly weird, guys. It's so weird. Like, you'll have to let me know in the comments, like, what are your preferences? And I will not judge your character at all based on how you decide to wander around your own home, because to say otherwise is just plainly bizarre.